Yeah, The Immigrant, pretty big short from this year, I guess. It's
Yeah,
like
Adam McKay, right?
what?
Big Short.
Oh God.
Okay. Anyway, um, yeah, I think this is like one of the more popular and more well-known Charlie Chaplin shorts. Uh,
Yeah, and I think it's supposedly one of his favorite as well.
hmm.
I believe I read that somewhere that he later in life or in his autobiography said that it was one of, if not his favorite short that he directed.
Yeah, it was not the favorite short of the U.S. Immigration Service.
No,
Um,
no. For some reason, they were not a fan of it.
this movie isn't, I call it a social issue movie, but it's just another situation where it's Charlie Chaplin having a wrapper around his hijinks.
Yeah, very much so.
And what's happening in this movie is that the first half, he is an immigrant on a boat arriving in Ellis Island, and there is a part in the movie where he kicks an immigration officer because Charlie, the tramp, anytime he is mildly displeased with someone, he kicks them in the butt. And so that's all it was. It was a very just innocent slapstick moment, but it was used as part of the reasoning for excising him from America in the 50s, I guess, during like the time that they were,
Yeah,
chasing after all of this anti-Americanism,
yeah.
quote unquote.
Those
And
those
so
rascally Brits
those rascal,
coming
yeah,
to it, come to America and making comedies.
the rascally Brit Charlie Chaplin was sent back to Britain partially because of this movie. So that's a bit of its legacy, I suppose.
It is funny that you described it as like the sort of larger sort of societal thing that it's commenting on being immigration is kind of just a wrapper for a bunch of hijinks, which apparently is kind of how this movie got made. Like he shot the whole second half first
Yeah.
and then decided to sort of shoot the first half to kind of give that context, which I think is and definitely an interesting way of making a movie, of making a whole like self-contained short film and then deciding to make it twice as long with
Right.
with like
And
a
like
complete...
change the context of what you have just done with a new
Yeah.
segment. Yeah.
Um,
Um
it does kind of give the movie a bit more weight, though. I think.
yeah, it's meaty for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In the broad strokes, the first half of the movie is Charlie Chaplin on a boat. Sorry, the tramp on a boat, and he is doing various boat hijinks with all of the poor people from Europe who are coming to America. They come to America. We're skipping over all the hijinks for now. And they arrive at Ellis Island. He becomes an immigrant, and then due to circumstances on the boat of him winning money in a gambling game, but then realizing that the money that he won was stolen from a poor woman, so he gives it back. And then the second half of the movie, the second reel of the movie, is him ordering at a restaurant and not having enough money. And then he runs into the woman again and is trying to impress her and make her think that he is not dirt poor. And then there's various hijinks with a very irate waiter and various holes in pockets.
Love a good hole in the pocket gag.
Yeah.
This contains a lot of things that at least I associate with like Charlie Chaplin storytelling, I guess. Like it's got a lot of slapstick, obviously. But I think just the sort of like slightly kind of melancholic tone, the sort of like the main character being penniless but sort of charming, and there being a kind of romantic aspect to it.
Yeah.
I will say I feel like the end of this romantic plot, it ends in a very weird place that I did not love.
Yeah.
It ends with him kind of forcing the woman that he meets into marriage, and by that I mean like carrying her into a marriage office.
Kicking and screaming, no less.
Yeah. And that's
I
the
feel
last
like
shot of the movie.
it's a it's a very, from a modern perspective, it's a very weird place to end on. I feel like it was trying to be cute, and like it was trying to be like, oh, she was being coy, but she did want to, want to marry him or whatever. But it does not look good.
Yeah, it doesn't play great. It's not a great look, as the kids would say. Um, but other than that, it is quite charming and nice.
Yeah, and all the stuff on the boat's really good too. I like the stuff from the second half of the movie, but I think that the gags in the first half are really great, especially the opening, the opening joke of, you see his butt, because like Charlie Chaplin is all about butts. You see his butt as he is like
In
leaning
pants.
over in pants, yes, in
Yeah.
pants. But like he loves butt jokes. We've been over this.
It's
Like,
true.
kicking in the butt, looking at butts.
Yeah.
It's you see him over the edge of the boat, looking like he's seasick, and kind of like almost twitching as if he is seasick over the side of the boat, And and then there's a reveal as he comes back up that what he was really doing was fishing. He pulls a fish out from the line, and it's a good gag. And then it follows it up with another one where he takes the fish and throws it onto like a pile of other poor people who were sleeping, and then the fish, like, there's a close up of the fish biting a guy in the nose, and which I thought was a very, very funny thing to add, just like I don't know, maybe animatronic in some way.
Yeah, it's like a fish puppet bites
Yeah.
bites him in the nose. Yeah.
I thought it was very silly, and I liked
that
it.
that thing of him being like facing away from camera and you think he's doing one thing and then he turns around, then you realize it's something else, is
Yeah.
I think a very common Chaplin gag. I've definitely seen that in other Chaplin
Oh,
things.
huh?
But it's great. It's very versatile, It's
Yeah.
like you can always have it be something different, and it's always pretty funny.
And there's like a lot of other good gags on the boat. They do a lot with the swaying back and forth of the boat.
Yeah. Which
with yeah.
must have been an actual set on a rocker, because it's like
Yes.
there's props and things rolling back and forth. It's very. At first, I was like, "Oh, are they just doing the camera thing and having everyone go whoa?"
Right. No, this isn't like a Star Trek thing. Like, everybody is flying in one direction
Well,
or the other.
when they're below deck, the
Yeah.
set is definitely moving. But when they're above deck, you can tell that they are doing the Star Trek thing, because you can see the horizon line of the sea, and that is
Right.
also rocking.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a good mixing of different techniques to get that effect.
I love too that like the boat is kind of swaying in this unpredictable way, but because the tramp walks so weird, he can handle it better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like he is just kind of in a normal scenario because he walks like he's drunk all the time. Yeah, I love that. And they get a lot of good mileage. I feel like, in all of his shorts that we've seen so far, like, he comes up with a gimmick and then he gets all of the mileage that he can out of that gimmick for slapstick bits. With the tilting set gimmick, there is like a scene where they're eating in the inside of the ship, and when everything rocks back and forth, the food is going from one side of the table to the other. So like he takes, like, when it goes to his side, he takes some, and then when it goes to the other guy's side, the other guy takes some, and they're just like kind of stealing from the same dish back and forth. Get some good mileage.
There is a lot of stuff like that. That is something that I think really stands out about Chaplin's comedy. From, I don't know, just like the choreography is so like perfectly timed. With something like that, where it's like, I don't know how many times they had to do that to get the timing right, but it paid off.
And the second part is just like any kind of possible, I can't pay for my meal and what's going to happen, and violent waiter who is ejecting people who are 10 cents short, kind of stuff. And also Charlie Chaplin just eating really weird.
Another very common Chaplin gag is eating weird. That's like a big thing with him. I mean, he's got the famous bread on the forks or whatever. But we'll
Have you
get to that.
seen Have you seen much of his movies besides like the shorts so far?
I've seen a few of his later features. But even then there's a lot that I haven't seen. A lot of like the really famous ones I've never seen in their entirety.
I've only seen The Great Dictator. I think
Mm.
I've seen more Keaton than Chaplin.
Oh, interesting.